There's just no other choice. I didn't have a choice. I had to buy the yarn. I just had to. Hi everyone, welcome back to Popsicle-frog Knits. My name's Brooke, and this is my channel where I mostly talk about knitting, but I have started spinning and sewing a little bit, so we're also kind of talking about those things. I probably won't talk about that much about sewing. I'm still pretty new and not as into it as I am knitting and spinning. So yeah, today we have a new podcast episode. It is episode number 9 of the Popsicle-frog Knits podcast. It's a mouthful. I can't remember if I said my name. My name's Brooke. I am a knitter based outside, or a maker based outside Houston, Texas. And I've been knitting for about 2.5 years now, a little over 2.5 years. And I actually just hit the 2-year mark since I started uploading. I think the first video I uploaded was a podcast at the beginning of August in 2022. So that's exciting. Maybe I'll do a little celebration in the next video. I didn't have the foresight to put anything together for this one. So we'll see. If that's something you'd be interested in, let me know. Maybe I'll do like a Ask Me Anything Q&A video. I did that a while ago, but it's been a long time. So yeah, today we're going to do knitting podcasts. It's going to follow a traditional knitting podcast format. We're going to do what I'm wearing, finished objects, whips, acquisitions and plans, and maybe just a little life update at the end. Just so if you're not interested, you don't have to watch. But let's just get into it. This is going to be encompassing June and July because I didn't make a video last month. I actually filmed one, but I didn't end up editing or releasing it because, like I said, I live in Houston and the Hurricane Beryl came through at the beginning of July. And we were out of power, but for some reason I decided I wanted to still film a podcast in like a 90-degree room. So I was like sweating and just in a weird mental place because of everything that happened. And yeah, I hope if you're in Houston, you're doing all right. We were fine. We had friends with the generator, so we got to stay with them, and we got power after like 5-6 days. So it was really nice to come home back to our house. And yeah, let's just get into what I'm wearing. This is the 7 p.m. tank by Tiffany Ty, and it is my most recent finished object. And by most recent, I mean I finished it about 20 minutes ago. Because I sewed the straps down to the wrong part. I sewed them like right here and it just was not working, so I undid it and redid it. But I did finish the straps this morning. So very recent finished object. It has not been blocked yet, but I needed to show it off because it's just gorgeous. I love it so much. Very, very happy with it. And this is the second time I've knit this pattern. I made a light green version a couple months ago. And it's gorgeous. Love it. Obviously love the pattern because I've knit it twice. And it just has a really, really cool construction. Like, it's just so smart. It's crazy. Like, I would never have... This is why I'm not a designer, because I would have never thought of anything like this. Like, it's so cool how it's constructed. So let's talk about that, and then we'll talk about the yarn. So this tank is actually knit in pieces. So you start knitting the middle section. So I'll stand up and show you. So you can see, hopefully you can see, there's a seam here. So you knit this front panel that goes around till here. And then there's 2 side panels. Let's see, there, and there's one on the other side. Ignore the ends. Again, I haven't blocked it. And then on the back, there's a rib panel. And so you block those panels and you seam them together, and then you pick up stitches around around it's a tube, so you pick up the stitches around the tube and you knit up. And it's really cool. It uses, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. The lighting's not great. Okay, you can see like right here, it uses raglan increases to increase for the bust. It was just like kind of a close-up, but trying to show you the garment so you get an idea. And it's just super cool. You knit, you do your increases, you knit a little bit, then you bind off the back and you do decreases along the sides, and then you bind off the stitches. I actually did a couple extra rows flat after I finished the decreases just to get a little bit more height, because it would have been sitting like down here, which is a little more scandalous than I would have wanted, because it's already a pretty low cut top. So I was like, I don't need it lower cut, I'll add a little bit of length. And I'm really happy with how it turned out. So I started this project a little while ago and I just didn't work on it for a while. I was working on other whips, but I wanted to wear it to Flock Fiber Festival, which is actually in 2 days. So today is the 8th of August. It's a Thursday. I'm actually leaving for Seattle in a couple of hours and I'm so excited. So this is my entry to the Flock make-along that was happening, and I got it finished just in time, and I'll block it. I might block it tonight. I might actually not block it until I get home, because it is, or block it at all. It's fitting really well. So normally I'm like a proponent of blocking. I think it's great, but honestly might not block it. I think that might be what I do. That's shocking. I blocked everything from my first knit onwards, except one thing that said not to block it, but that's irrelevant. So let's talk about the yarn, because the yarn is just, I'm obsessed. So if you've been around, I've talked about this garment before as a whip and when I got the yarn in, but this yarn is Explorer Knits and Fibers. It's on the Denali sock, which is a 2-ply, 400 yards per 100 grams, I believe. I don't know if it's yards or meters. I never know. But it's 400 something per 100 grams, and it is in the color You Do Not Yield. This is from a collab collection. So Alley of Explorer Knits and Fibers did 2 colorways in collaboration with Jess of Witchfire Fibers, who I'm going to end up talking about later, in her Sarah J. Maas Made Me Cry collection. So if you've read the Throne of Glass books and you've read Kingdom of Ash, the last one, then you'll probably recognize the quote, "You do not yield." It's kind of a big thing in that one. And I have what could be considered an unhealthy obsession with Sarah J. Maas, and specifically Throne of Glass. I read them all last year and I'm actually rereading them now. I started 2 weeks ago rereading them, and I love them so much. So much so, I actually have a tattoo. If you've been here, you know. I have a tattoo that says, "You do not yield." Let's see. So, yeah, it says it. It is in the font that the book is in, so it's like directly out of the book. Because when I was reading them, I was having a really bad time mental health wise, and that quote became something that I kind of said to myself when things were not great. And so I decided to get it tattooed as a reminder. So, yeah. So obviously I had to buy this color because 1, it's gorgeous, and 2, I gotta match the tattoo, man. There's just no other choice. I didn't have a choice. I had to buy the yarn. I just had to. So, it is just this gorgeous color. The other color Allie made was called Fireheart, and it is very similar to the, I don't know if you can really see like the goldy bits that kind of come through in the footage that I've shown, but there is kind of a little bit of gold that runs through it, and the color Fireheart is that gold color. She's actually going to have it at Flock, and I may end up buying some because it's beautiful and I'd really love to make something with it. We'll see. I have decision paralysis over all the colors I've already seen from Flock, and then I know there's going to be more there. So we have no idea what's going to happen. We shall see. So I didn't talk about size. I made the size 2, which is actually for a 32 to 34 inch bust, but it's supposed to have 0 ease. And this really doesn't have much negative ease, I don't think. I haven't measured it, but the size I made before was a size 3, and it was actually too big. I had to crochet elastic around the whole top to cinch it in because it was like gaping, and the bottom is also doesn't fit really well. So it works. I just wanted I thought sizing down would be better. So I sized down, and I'm super, super happy with how it turned out. If I make it again, which honestly I could because it's such a gorgeous top, I would make a size 2 again. Yeah. I did do one extra set of the raglan increases, so I had a couple more stitches in the body just because I knew for my bust size, like 4 extra stitches wasn't gonna hurt. And yeah, that's the 7 p.m. tank. I love it. It's great. And let's move on to finished objects, which is going to be the heaviest part of this episode because it was June and July. And I have 2 whips because I finished this. This was a whip and I finished it. So I'm down to 2 whips. And yeah, let's talk about finished objects. I'm going to start with, where did they go? Okay, here they are. Vanilla socks. My tried and true vanilla sock recipe that I follow. It's 56 stitches, short slip stitch, heel and gusset, rounded toe, 2x2 ribbing. I make the same socks all the time. This was my 9th pair of socks this year, and so I don't really talk much about making the socks. I use 2.25 millimeter needles, and I use 9-inch circulars for everything except the heel and the toe. I use DPNs, which I call tiny death sticks because they just could poke someone's eye out. They're kind of terrifying. But let's talk about the yarn because that's the fun part of the vanilla sock. So this is by Paisley Knits. This is her coastal sock, and this is the June colorway for the book club. Not collection. It's the book club that Coley of Paisley Knits is doing this year, and this is based on Song of Achilles, and the colors are I Would Know Him Blind and Half My Soul. So I haven't read Song of Achilles, which I really want to because I love Circe by Madeline Miller, and I know I'm gonna love Song of Achilles. I have it like in my Libby hold, so I'm just waiting for it to come in. Maybe I should just buy it because I really want to read it, and I can wear my socks while doing that. So yeah, it's these beautiful colors. Obsessed. Very much love them. Haven't worn them yet because it's been a little bit hot because I live in Texas. Even though I do wear my wool socks, like, weather be damned. That's my second finished object, is my June socks. Let's move on to one of my favorite things that I've made, and it's not even a garment. It's not even an accessory. It's home decor. And if you were here in the last episode, this was a whip, and I just absolutely love it. It lives on my bed. It looks so pretty with my bedding and my blanket, and it is my Stella quilt cushion. Look at my baby. Look at her. She's beautiful. I love her so much. She's, let's see. I'll get out of the picture. Hopefully this is framed in the middle. She's beautiful. I love her. My baby. She's beautiful. I love her. So let's talk about her. She is made using a mini skein set from Red Door Fiber Studios. Kate is one of my favorite dyers. If you've been here, I talk about her a lot. And she's going to be at Flock, so I'm really excited. So she did mystery mini skein sets, and I ordered one, and it had 5 mini skeins in it. So there's 3 other colors that are not Red Door Fiber Studios in here, but the Red Door Fiber Studio colors are the, let's see, this one, this like dark browny purple, this pink, this purple, the green, and the gold. This one is Less Traveled Yarn 757 sock in Belladonna. This one is leftovers from my, I think it's the 1989 sock set from Tiny Human Knits, and then this one's Knitting for Olive Merino in the color Dusty Sea Green. And then the background color is Patton's US Classic Wool Worsted. So I made the worsted size because I was holding fingering weight double, and that's what the pattern says to do, because apparently fingering weight held double is more than a DK weight, which I didn't know. So I did the worsted size. And they end up coming out to the same size pillow-wise. It's just the number of stitches is different. And I did the envelope closure with an I-cord bind off, and I did the short rows because otherwise this was sitting like that up here. So there's optional short rows at the end to kind of make it sit a little bit flatter. So yeah, this, I don't know, did I say the name? It's the Stella Quilt pillow by Laura Penrose. And she just released the quilt version, and at some point in my life, I will be making that. Because I need it in my life. And I love this pattern. It was so fun to knit. The back was a little bit of a slog, but you know what? I wanted the pillow so bad, I did not mind at all. The one thing is, I wish my joins were, I don't know if you can see in the center, it doesn't look like the cleanest, and some of my things don't line up perfectly, and so I kind of wish they lined up a little bit better, but that's like a me problem, not a pattern problem. But I do have plans to knit it again, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. So I've kind of learned now how to do it, and should be able to hopefully make it look a little bit neater when you look at it up close. So yeah, that's my, it goes this way. It's my Stella quilt cushion. I love her. Okay, back on the bed she goes. Okay, my next finished object I actually don't have with me because it was a sample knit that I have already sent off, but I will insert a picture of it, and it is the Violet Tee by Jessica McDonald. So I made this as a sample for Jess of Witchfire Fibers, who, if you remember, I mentioned already, because she did the SJM Made Me Cry collection. And this is not the last time I'll be talking about her in this episode. But I made the sample for her. And she's going to be at Flock, and it was actually a sample for Flock, so it's going to be there. I get to go see it in person, which is exciting. And look at all her beautiful colors. And this was my first sample knit, and I actually have another sample knit that I'll talk about in a second, but this was my first sample knit, and I really enjoyed doing it because the Violet Tee is not something that I personally would wear, but I really had a great time making it. It is a fingering weight tee that has a lace trim bottom, I guess would be the best way to describe it. It's just all over stockinette, it's drop shoulder, and it's a very simple knit, but a really gorgeous staple knit. The yarn I used was Jess's Double Sock, which is a 2-ply in the color Lone Bison, which is this beautiful brown. I've already inserted the picture so you have seen the beauty of it, but I love it. I'm so happy with how it turned out. I really hope she likes it because, yeah, it's for her. And I got credit to her store, so I'm really excited to at some point get some more yarn from Jess. So that's the violet tea. And the violet tea, actually, it took me a month. I started June 20th and I finished July 16th, I think. So it took a while because it was a lot of fingering weight, tiny needle knitting. I believe it was 3mm. I think. Maybe it was 3.25. It was tiny. It was wee. The gauge was small. So it took me a little while, but very happy to do that for Jess. So my next finished object, and my last finished object, is another sample knit, but this color has not been released, so we're going to switch to black and white for a little bit. So we're going to go black and white in 3, 2, 1. Hopefully I timed that right. So we're in black and white now. Exciting. It's like film noir. Maybe I'll be a detective. Please ignore me. Okay. So this sample knit is for Coley of Paisley Knits, who I've also mentioned in this episode. And the pattern that I did was the Hibernal Socks by Summerly Knits. And let's grab them because they're beautiful. So this is, I'm gonna duck. This is what, ooh, now it's in the screen. Stop focusing on me, focus on the beauty of the sock. Okay, I hope that came through. Well, so these are the Hibernal Socks. They are a faux cable sock that's basically just a rib sock with a little lace repeat in it. And they were so fun to knit. I have only ever knit vanilla socks, so this was my first time. Actually, no, I've made colorwork socks, but this is my first time doing lace sock knitting because I haven't done much lace knitting. But this one was really simple. It was a 4-row repeat, super easy to memorize, and it's just so fun to knit. The worst part was the 1x1 ribbing because I normally do 2x2 because 1x1 is just a slog and hurts my hands a little bit. And you did like 2 inches of 1x1 ribbing. So lots of 1x1 ribbing. But you know what? They turned out gorgeous. I can't wait for you guys to see these colorways. I'll end up showing them in color once the color has come out so you guys can see it. But beautiful colors. Very excited about these. I made the 3rd size, I believe, which was a 72 stitches, slip stitch heel and gusset, and then on the foot the pattern is just carried through at the top, so the bottom is stockinette. And yeah, that's really all I can say about these because I can't talk about the yarn, but beautiful color. Definitely keep your eye out on Coley's page. She just has gorgeous stuff. So hopefully I'll get these to her soon. And by hopefully I mean I will get these to her soon. So yeah, that's my last finished object. So let's talk about my 2 whips. My first whip has been a whip since the beginning of June because I worked a bunch on this the first 20 days of June, and then I started the violet tea, and this got put on the back burner because the violet tea had a deadline and this did not. So let me grab it. It's in my fun Disney 100th anniversary or 50th Disney World 50th anniversary bag that I got a couple years ago. Alright, so this is my book club cardigan. Let's see if you can see the gorgeous cable pattern. Yeah, so this is my book club cardigan. It is a pattern by Sari Nordland, and this is actually the first Sari Nordland pattern that I'm following. I'm just gonna put it away. Yeah, so this is my first Sari Nordland pattern, and it's written so well. Really love it. Really excited to make more patterns by her. But I saw this cardigan and just became obsessed. Obsessed. Like, this yarn was planned for something else, and I was like, nope, I gotta make the book club cardigan in that color. And it's just this gorgeous cable cardigan. It has like diamond cables. It has... My camera cut me off. It's just very rude that way. So it has the like diamond cables, the little like, ooh, it goes like this. Maybe it looks like a fishtail a little bit, like the braid, the fishtail braid. I don't know what it's actually called. And then it has moss stitch panels. And it's gonna have pockets and cabled sleeves and a double knit button band, and it's just gonna be beautiful when I finish it. It is a little bit tedious. It takes me like 20 minutes to do a row, so it's slow going. And again, I was focusing on my violet tee, and then I was focusing on the Hibernal Socks, and then I was focusing on this, so I haven't had a lot of time to work on it. Like, it went over a month not being touched. So I did all of that really fast. So I think once I get to actually focusing on that again, it'll go by quickly, because I'm almost done with the body, and then I just have the sleeves and the neck band, the band and the pockets. And I think the sleeves should be relatively easy because it's knitting in the round where this is knitting flat, and knitting in the round is just so much faster for me. So let's talk about the yarn. The yarn is actually one of my favorite commercial yarns, if not my favorite commercial yarn, and it is Barocco Ultra Alpaca. It's in the color 6201, which is buckwheat, and it's a gorgeous 50% alpaca, 50% wool blend, and I love it so much. This is actually my third garment using this yarn. My Ingrid sweater and my White Mountains are both in Barocco Ultra Alpaca. And I actually have more to make my mama White Mountains. So, love this yarn so much. It's beautiful. It's a worsted weight yarn, but it works at a DK gauge too, because both the Ingrid and the Book Club are DK, so it works at either gauge. Or it works for both, I've found. And I'm making size 3, which should end up having a bust of 45.25 inches. So that's going to be about 9 to 10 inches of positive ease on me, which I'm very excited about. I love an oversized cardigan, and I think an oversized cable cardigan is just so classic and really will fit into my style and how my style is evolving, because I'm working on figuring out what my style is so I can make things that fit into it, which is really exciting. So that's something fun I'm doing. But that's my book club cardigan. Let's move on to my second whip and my last whip, which is in my handy dandy sock knitting bag. And it's obviously a pair of socks. And it is, let's see, I'm on the gusset right now. These little beauties. I really hope the colors are coming through. Come on, light. There we go. Look at those colors. Look at the green. Just stunning. So, doing a vanilla sock, these ones are shorter because I only have a 50-gram skein of the self-striping color, which the yarn is Evermore, and it is by Laura of Tiny Human Knits. If you've been around, you know I love Tiny Human Knits sock yarn. I love it. Laura makes the most beautiful colorways. This is my 4th pair of Tiny Human Knit socks, and I have another skein of her sock yarn that she kindly gifted me a little while ago, and I just haven't had time to knit with it yet. But I'm working on racking up all her Taylor Swift colorways. These are the 3rd ones I have. The other 2 I have are 1989, Taylor's version, and Folklore. So these are the Evermore ones. And Laura's actually making a sweater out of these colors, and it's just chef's kiss. Beautiful. I love them so much. The green, that's the contrast color for the heel and the toe, it just works so well. It just gives really moody fall vibes that go with Evermore. And the green is very similar to the vinyl color, which I believe is the point. Yeah, so this is the first sock. I started these a couple days ago, and yeah, I've been working on them during my lunch breaks at work. Yeah, so getting a little bit of time in on them here and there, because when I've been at home, I've been focusing on my 7 p.m. tank. So that's my second whip. Now we're going to get into acquisition and plans. So if you don't enjoy this, thank you for watching. I really appreciate you being here. If you like this and want to see more, you can always subscribe. And you can also follow me on Instagram at popsicle_frog. Yeah, so if you're heading out, see ya. I hope you have a great rest of your day. If you're sticking around, let's get into acquisitions and plans, because I have some great ones, in my opinion. Let's get started. We're going to start with the sock yarns that I have, and they are both from Paisley Knits. They're the June and July colorways. So we'll start with the June. So it's this beautiful pink, blue, green, gorgeous girl, and it is based off Beach Read by Emily Henry, which is my favorite Emily Henry book. And this is actually the second sock yarn I have based off Beach Read. I get obsessed with things. It's sometimes a problem. Like, the amount of Sarah J. Maas inspired yarn that I have is slightly concerning, and I'm probably going to make a whole video on going through all of my SJM inspired garments. If that's something you would be interested in, please let me know, because I think it would be really fun, because I do have a lot. More than the average person should have, I think. But you know what? I don't care. Okay, moving on. So these 2 colors are Overwhelmed That You Exist and So Perfectly My Favorite Person, which are just so cute. If you haven't read Beach Read and you like rom-coms, go read it. Emily Henry is like the queen of rom-coms, and I love it. Yeah, so I might actually make Hibernal Socks with these, or with the other color that I'm about to show you. I haven't decided which one I want the Hibernal Socks to be, because I had so much fun knitting mine for Coley that I want my own. So that one's June colorway. Now I'll show you the July colorway, which is this. It's really, really gorgeous. To me, it's very similar to the normal People colorway, except instead of green, it's a light blue. Like the other colors in the yarn, it just feels like it goes with that one so well. Let me grab those so I can show you. Like, they're a little bit different, but it has a very similar vibe, I think. And I really like it. I like how soft and muted the colors are, and the blue's just stunning. So this yarn is based off of Malibu Rising, which I believe is by Taylor Jenkins Reid, who did Daisy Jones and the Six and Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Let me check. I was correct. Okay, it's Taylor Jenkins Reid. I haven't actually read any books by her, but I love the Daisy Jones and the Six TV show. And I do really want to read Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo and Malibu Rising. So I have a really long TBR, so at some point I'll get to these. But this yarn's beautiful and makes me want to read the book. So we'll see. So this one is called Nina Riva, and this one is called The Ocean Must Favor You. So beautiful. I might do the Hibernal with these. I don't know. Let me know which one should be Hibernal Socks. Which one? Beach Read, Malibu Rising. I think they'd both be gorgeous. Let me know. So those are my two sock plans, yarns that I have. And let's move into the wonderful package that I got at the beginning of July. I'm so excited. So I said we were going to come back to Jess of Witchfire Fibers, and we're here. We're back. Because my yarn that I did in the pre-order for the Sarah J. Maas Made Me Cry collection came in at the beginning of July. So let's start with, I know what we're going to start with. We are going to start with the garment quantity that I got, and that is this guy. Let's see, I might insert B-roll if these colors aren't coming up properly. Let's see, can you see it? It's just this beautiful, like, silvery gray, dark, gorgeous color with, like, these red rust speckles in it. And it is called Take It Off, which is a quote from Kingdom of Ash, which is the last book, and a really, like, gut-wrenching moment. Which fits because it's the Sarah J. Maas Made Me Cry collection, and I was in fact crying at that point. So I got this on just this classic fingering base, which is a 3-ply superwash merino, 100% superwash, and it's 490 yards for 100 grams, which is a lot, and it's almost 500 yards. So it's a fingering weight. And I have 3 of these, which gives me almost 1,500 yards, which is a lot of yarn. And so I have made a swatch already, and this is actually, I'm going to cast this on before my flight this afternoon and take this one with me on my trip. And this is what the swatch looks like. I really hope it's showing up well. If not, I'll insert B-roll. It's beautiful. So I am making, this is a swatch for the Cottage Cardigan, which is by Jacqueline Cieslak. And I've mentioned them a lot in the last little bit because their patterns are just gorgeous, and I've been anxiously waiting for this yarn to arrive to make this cardigan. It's like a very loose drapey, it's going to be very loose and drapey because it's knit on 4mm needles with a fingering weight yarn. So like it's kind of, it's not see-through, but it's a pretty thin fabric. It's not dense at all. But it's going to be gorgeous, I think. And I'm so excited to have this. And I'm so excited to use the yarn. This is it all caked up. This is my little cake. Cutie. And yeah, I'm gonna make the size, I can't remember if I'm making size 2 or 3. But yeah. Little beauty. It's gonna be gorgeous. It's a cardigan. I think I said it was the Cottage Cardigan, but you do the button band at the same time, which is nice. Even though I kind of hated that construction, I'm hoping I will like it more this time because I think it looks really nice. So we'll see. All right, my last acquisition. I mentioned I had plans to make another Stella quilt cushion, And that is going to be made using these beauties. They're just so floppy and fun. Let's see if I can get all the colors where you can see them. Look at them. I love them so very much. So much. Gorgeous. These are all the tonals that she had in the collection, and they are based off of moments in the Throne of Glass series, A Court of Thorns and Roses series, and the Crescent City series. So there's some from all 3 series. They're so cute, so fun. There's 8 of them. So I'm not sure I'm going to use this one in the pillow because I'm worried it's going to be too similar to the background color, even though it's a little bit more white than the cream. But I do think I have another color that'll work, just not by Witchfire Fibers, which that's okay. And then I can use this for a contrast heel and toe. But this is on her double sock base, which is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. It's 2-ply construction, and each one of these is 80 yards. So for that one, I used about 10 grams in total of each color. So like, I'm thinking I'm gonna have about 10 grams each of these left when I'm done. So maybe I make 2 and have 2 matching ones, or like switch up the color order so it's the same colors but different orders. I don't know. Could be cute. Could be cute to have 2 matching pillows, and then like put that one in my chair and have these ones on my bed, because like, I don't know if you can see Mom Hug. Yeah, you definitely can't see. I'll insert a picture, because Mom Hug is like literally the color. Or wait, I don't know which one's Mom Hug. I think this one's Mom Hug. Mom Hug is literally the color of my blanket on my bed. This is also one of my favorite moments in the 3rd Crescent City book. I was bawling. Yeah, so another Stella quilt cushion with my little, they're just so floppy, it's fun. Yeah. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed. I have enjoyed chatting with you all. I have been working on some other videos in the background. They're just taking way longer than expected, because one of them's a project vlog. Actually, both of them are project vlogs. One of them's knitting, one of them's spinning. And I thought I would have the spinning one done, but things really got derailed after the hurricane came through. It really like threw off my motivation to spin. And I said I was going to talk about life stuff, so I just got a second job. So I'm working 6 days a week. So I don't have a ton of time for knitting and spinning right now. I mean, I've been knitting a lot because we've been watching the Olympics every night, and so it's nice. I get home, sit down, knit, watch the Olympics. It's been great. So I haven't been spinning. Even though I really want to get back to my spin, because I'm almost done with my first braid, and then I have a different color to do, and then I'm going to knit those 2 in the same pattern because they go really well together, and I want to get it done because I want to see what it looks like. So yeah, I got a second job. I'm really enjoying it. I'm there 4 days. I'm at my other job 2 days, and I have Tuesdays off, but it's fun. I'm working at a boot store. So I would have never thought that I'd get into the Western aesthetic, but I'm there and I'm working in a store that sells cowboy boots. So I'm having a great time. It's really fun. Enjoying it. I've been there 2 weeks now. Yeah, 2 weeks. So yeah, it's great. I'm loving it. Great time all around. Very excited for my trip this weekend. I'm taking a couple days off so I can go to Seattle, and I'm going with my parents, so we're gonna do like touristy things, and then Saturday I'm gonna be at Flock, And I don't know if I'll have this video up before or after flock. If it's before and you're gonna be there, please come say hi. I'm a very awkward person, so it might take me a second to be like, oh my god. But I love meeting people, and like, if you guys watch, like, thank you so much. Thank you for being here. I don't know what compels people to watch these videos, but I really enjoy making them. I hope you enjoy watching them. And that's all for today. So I'll see you guys next time, and be safe. I hope you're doing all right, and have fun working on whatever project you're working on. Bye.